And
Hello.
away we go. Oh,
Hi.
Hello,
Hello, hi,
friends.
hello.
Hello, hi, hello.
Let's test this. JD, can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk.
All right, now I can hear you. I just can't hear you through Video Ninja,
Amazing.
Video Ninja is a little
Which is
bit
fine.
sussy.
which is fine because I listen through OBS anyway. Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. We are
Thanks
live
for
from the
joining
apocalypse.
us.
If you've not joined us before, this is what we do. We play tabletop role-playing games to raise money for progressive causes and good organizations. This game is Class Reunion. This is our 5e homebrew game where all of our characters here were high school students in Ohio, and they have been stuck in a fantasy world for 10 years. They were separated from each other. They grew up. They took on classes and got items and went on quests. And now
A grow up and a glow up.
it's true. That's what we say around here. We say that every
Roll
stream.
up.
Fruit roll up.
But now they have been reunited. And now that they are reunited, they have been trying to figure out exactly why and what it is that brought them here in the first place. They have spent the last week or so, maybe a little bit over, trapped inside willingly trapped inside the necropolis of Barrow. And it is in Barrow that we have been hanging out for the past, God, I don't even know at this point, many streams.
Many episodes.
9 sessions.
Many episodes.
I can go back
Yeah,
and look, but
that
it's yeah.
sounds about right. Just trying to get my levels.
Last time we were not in
a
Barrow,
little
I
more
think was session
consistent.
7, and we're currently session 17. So
10. We have
To
done
be-
10 sessions in Barrow.
To be fair, a lot of it was talking and character development, which is always a good time.
And
Yes.
clothes. And clothes.
and clothes.
There
Don't
was-
forget.
Don't
There
forget
was the shopping
fashion.
montage.
Yes.
The
And trauma.
fashion. Fashion. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. I was doing some volume stuff, and now we're good. We've been in Barrow, and a riot has erupted. Riot has been going for a little bit now, and our heroes are maybe responsible for that, but are not particularly close to it. But before we get into that, the way we do things here on this channel, if you've not been here before, like this newcomer, No Fame Pod in chat, who has never been here before, we ask that if you like what you see here, instead of doing the normal Twitch things of subscribing and giving bits and all of that normal Twitch stuff, you take that $5, $3, $2, whatever it would have been, and you give that directly to the organizations that we are platforming instead of to us. In this case, the International Rescue Committee, which is the organization that we are fundraising for. They are a great and very important humanitarian aid organization with a long history of doing very, very good work. They've been around for about 80 years. They're active in over 40 countries, included the United States of America, where we all reside. And if you're going to give money to somebody as a result of this stream, please give it to them. !donate will pull up the link in the chat, and if you do that, the McElroy brothers will scream at us and interrupt whatever it is we're doing. At this point, probably a moment of very high drama. So feel free to do that if you're so inclined. You're also welcome to subscribe. We literally can't stop you, especially if you have an Amazon Prime subscription that's included in your Amazon Prime account for free.
So if you want to go ahead and just keep your wallets at the ready anytime you think the stream is good, go ahead and donate.
Yeah.
Always have your wallets at the ready and get ready
Just-
to ruin the stream.
Just donate and don't stop donating. If the quality
Don't
gets too
stop.
high, please ruin it.
Bring us
Kneecap
back down. Don't let our egos get too high. 'cause we
Yeah.
will.
True.
We have we're very much in danger of that.
Very much.
Very much. And if you subscribe, Brendan Lee Mulligan kills a dog. So don't, do that, or at least consider the far-reaching consequences of your actions if you do so. and ask yourself, will I be able to sleep at night if I do this? The answer is yes. Go for it. I think that's all of the stuff. There will be bot posts periodically throughout with more information about live from the apocalypse shit. But on that note,
Okay.
we can get into our introductions. Why not? Shall we? Where's this thing? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll go first because that's the way we do things. With me going first. Hello. Hi. My name is Will. I already said that. I am one of the GMs and the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse. I do a bunch of stuff here, but it is all under this fine Live from the Apocalypse umbrella on this channel. So if you want to see, Academy H, which is the Masks game that I run and that JD and Julia play in, which also gets turned into a podcast after each recording session that you can find on all of your podcasting platforms. It's called Academy H. We do that. I'm also playing in our current Wildcard Wednesday Monster of the Week game, Dead in the Water, which you can see tomorrow night if you come right on back to this channel. And I also play Julian Rue, X-Team Rocket member turned chef in our Eldritch Horror Pokemon game, Missing Numbers, which will be in exactly 1 week next Tuesday. It alternates with this game. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, you can come on back for that. And yeah, I do our tweeting, and that's all the stuff for me.
Don't forget the thirst traps.
It's true.
I don't know what you're talking about. JD, speaking of thirst traps, am I right?
Jesus. I'm already too anxious from what tonight involves. I'm going to forget my character's name for the second time. I am JD. I play Hunter, an agender ranger. In Class Reunion, I am also, as Will said, in Academy H, where I play my bone boy, Casimir Bright, aka Spectral, and I am GMing Dead in the Water, which Will is playing in, which means that whatever horrors we experience tonight, I get to return threefold on him tomorrow, so you definitely want to be around to watch that. And I can't officially announce this yet, but I will have some exciting news probably the next stream for Class Reunion, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna get to branch out from the from the Apocalypse family and join another family for a little bit of
How
time.
dare you, honestly.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think
I'm
you're
sorry. I'm
cheating on us.
you. I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about it. That's what I do.
Well, that's enough out of you, and I'm in danger.
Hello, I'm Wrath. I'm ready for the end of this thriller. The head will be dead, and they'll call me a killer. I'm not a good poet. I'm just Max Miller. Thank you very much.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
Damn.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
Snaps.
Why didn't you go
Snaps on
last?
God damn.
Mr. Julia, you gotta follow that.
Rude? Unbelievable.
The
Hello.
same order every time. That's what's on my button board.
Irrelevant. Hi, I'm Julia. I'm the local Delaware cryptid. I play Kelly Violet, who is the horrible rogue cleric hybrid who's been up to highwayman shenanigans for most of her time here. And she is very, very excited to grind the head into bone dust, not only for herself and her loved ones, but Hunter. I'm also in class, not class reunion. This is class reunion. I'm in Academy H. I'm in Academy H, where I play Lyra Kroll. And you can find me at Hexwhat on pretty much all forms of social media. If you're interested in watching my descent into utter madness, though, my sewing Instagram is Hex Sews, and I'm getting ready to start hand quilting, which is an undertaking that might be insane, but I'm gonna
Cool.
do it. I'm gonna hand quilt a queen-sized quilt, and if you want to watch me scream about it, that's where you can do it.
Do want to see that.
It's true.
Gotta start Googling what some of that is.
A plus for the info. I'm gonna give it a C for the rhymes though. Which that was a rhyme. Oh my god! What energy are we bringing tonight?
Chaos.
We
don't
All of
have-
it.
Corey.
Oh, hey, hi. I play Wayne Hovacek. I, at 17, planned on being the greatest hockey player of all time, and then I was transported to a world that had no hockey. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself. So invented the game Gritsky, became the greatest Gritsky player of all time, as well as all of my compatriots here. So pretty much reached my life goals within the first couple sessions. Now I'm just kind of cruising, as the adventure goes along. I'm ready to, pop this guy's head from the inside out. And that's just your boy Wayne. And for right now, Corey is on this. Sorry, I'm collecting pizza at this moment.
Nice.
I am playing Class Reunion. I don't know. Maybe I'll be playing something else in the future. Who knows?
Ooh,
Keep your eyes on the prize,
Sweet.
boys.
what a teaser! You also recently escaped a hurricane.
Oh, so
Pretty
well,
cool.
hey, I'm in Florida here. It's a big state. Come and find me. You know what I mean? But I drove. But if I waited probably 24 hours, I would have been underwater. So yeah, me and
Good
a
work.
ton of people also escaped, and it took a really long time through traffic. But we're safe and ready to go and ready to D&D.
Ready.
Oh,
to
and I
D&D.
got a new die, so we'll just watch out because I'm coming straight for you. Coming right at
All
you.
right. Well, we're gonna see. We are gonna see how that goes for everybody tonight.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. So that's our cast of characters here in Anoon, the fantasy world. I think I did most of the recap already, but I will say that last session was mostly spent in the sanctum of the being known as the head, the literal head of the board of directors that controls Barrow and its manufacturing, all of its industry, and therefore the primary governing body. Mortispire is the tallest point in Barrow, and you snuck into the sanctum, fought one undead horror that you thought might have been your best friend, role model,
Oh my god.
childhood crush, Ryan
Howard.
Beckinsale. Turned out it was not Ryan Beckinsale because the actual undead horror that used to be your best friend, role model, childhood crush, Ryan Beckinsale, showed up.
Howard.
And you fought him. You fought him to a standstill, and then he dipped. He took off. And
What did I say? What did
Like
I
a
say?
coward.
sure,
Like a coward.
Maybe. You hate to see him go, but you love to watch him teleport away. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, you discovered a secret room in the library of the sanctum. Inside of that secret room, you found Hunter, a different Hunter, someone who professed to have been transported directly into Barrow at the same time that all of you were sent to the various regions of Anoon, and claims to have been trapped here ever since. They appear to have all the memories of Hunter. They sound like Hunter. They look like Hunter. So that's cool.
That's one word for it.
It's something.
It's something.
And from there, you just made your way into the sanctum itself, into the laboratory. What appeared to be the laboratory. Let's go ahead and slide on back over there, shall we?
Just
No.
scoot on in.
Just scoot on in. There were a lot of pretty awful things that you witnessed in here.
Mm-hmm.
Piles of bodies riddling the floor, chemistry equipment, broken glass, pretty much on every available surface. One corpse fully just laid out on top of a table mid-examination, and a glass dome, sealed and almost looked pressurized, glass dome covering a pit that you were not sure exactly how deep it went. Inside, through the glass, you could really only see a wriggling, writhing mass of something
Hate
and a
that.
red light. There's sort of a slide caked in blood and viscera leading down into that pit. None of you decided to open it or ride that slide yet.
That's
I don't like that.
And as you were examining the room and looking around, you heard the other hunter sharply inhale from the entrance to this sanctum. And when you looked over, they had a stunned look on their face. And they said, "Oh, you don't know." They pointed past you to one of the shelves in this room, and amidst the jars of tiny fetal bodies and suspended organs, there was a skull. There was a skull that you hadn't noticed when you first came in. But now, as you take a closer look at it, you see that it has naked eyeballs within its sockets. And
What color?
as it's
like peach.
brown.
Oh,
Like a brilliant, like kind of nice.
Trying to create some tension here.
we will not let you.
If you don't mind. trying to run a game. That's okay
Apologies.
with you.
Apologies. Yes, go on.
It lifted off of the shelf, and its jaws pried apart, revealing a tongue. And it unleashed a powerful and painful, unearthly wail. But we'll get back to that in just a second.
Wait, what?
Because
Please.
first we're going to check in on a very different part of Barrow. Drifting out of Mortispire and down through the rest of the city proper, passing the middle districts that are heavily populated, and those streets of the middle districts, which are currently burning and filled with rioting factory workers, mortals, living people who are currently in the process of rising up against their undead oppressors. There are store windows that have been shattered. It appears that the riots have in fact spread beyond Bloodside and the factory district itself. Though there are some undead forces massing in an attempt to contain them, whether this is the case or not, it appears that the workers have numbers on their side. But we are moving farther still beyond the Middle Districts, farther still beyond Bloodside, drifting down into the slums of Barrow, which are, aside from a few small settlements, pitch black. Enormous stalactites hang from the ceiling, and equally enormous stalagmites rise up from the earth. It's a barren and lifeless place. But even down here, there are pockets of life. And in Central Slum, there is one building. Inside that building, in the back room, dimly lit and covered in webs, a large and spider-like form lowers one leg, followed by another and another, touching the ground before eventually lowering the rest of her body alongside it. She possesses a spider-like abdomen, but a more or less humanoid torso. And she settles down into one of the piles of comfortable pillows that cover the floor of this room. Her mouth, which is lined with a set of mandibles, starts to click rapidly together. And some of the guests standing right outside, waiting for their chance to indulge in the pleasures that her place of business offers, hear the noise and shudder. The red-headed woman standing behind the counter nods at them in acknowledgement. One of them says, Is it safe to be here right now? And the woman nods and says, yeah, I mean, safer than normal, I'd say. Patrons look confused. She nods her head at the door, says, that's her laughing. So, I'm going to need everyone in this room, all y'all, to make a Constitution saving throw.
No!
Do I also have to make one
Actually, that's
for
fine.
Callisto?
Are you in this room or are you outside of the range?
I think I hadn't moved Hunter on to the board, but they definitely stepped into the room. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you all were more or less in here. So if you want to put yourselves in here, I'll move Edmund in because he's also in here. Which means that he's going to have to make a Constitution saving throw as well.
Just wanted to let you know, DM, there were a lot of big reactions while I was eating this pizza.
Oh, yeah?
Just because you didn't see my face doesn't mean I didn't have a great time listening to that intro.
Good. I'm so glad.
Everybody
glad
add
you liked
2.
it.
Everybody
we can
within
add
my
2?
immediate vicinity.
Ooh.
So
Now,
that's
what's an
how
immediate
yeah,
vicinity?
what's immediate?
10 within 10 feet.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
no.
okay. Well, that's Edmund. That's good.
That's good.
My
I appreciate
man.
that.
My man. All right, let's get it. Eat.
All right. I am
Ooh.
outside of that range, so my 17 will have to stand as just that.
Oh, well, that's really
all right.
great for Edmund. I got an 11.
I also got an 11.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
Jesus.
Cool.
Oof.
Gave all my good energy to Edmund.
We're having fun here
Edmund was
tonight.
bleeding out.
He needed some kind of a win here.
Edmund can heal.
It's true. Weird.
It's true.
To a degree, it is true.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Heal back is
Right.
22 max HP.
R.I.P.
It is. He is not a robust individual. It is true, unfortunately. Okay, cool. Kelly Violet, what did you get?
17.
Okay. You are frightened. And Hunter,
Hunter got a 19.
you are also frightened. Wayne,
He's shooting about 11.
11. Okay. Wayne, you drop to 0 hit points.
Sick. But
Uh,
if I would normally drop to 0 hit points, I instead dropped to 1.
Oh my god.
all right.
Oh my god.
So Wayne, I
And,
imagine just like all of life draws out of him, and then there's just like 2 like pinpoints behind his eyes, just like forcing him to keep standing. Something in there keeping him up.
Max Miller,
hmm
what did you roll?
I rolled an 11.
You drop to 0 hit points.
What time is it?
Do I quickly search his barbarian 5e? Yeah,
Oh
no, I'm
my
not 0.
God.
Jesus. It's 8
Uh,
o'clock.
Sure is.
Nice.
You're just feeling a little sleepy.
I'm tired.
We cannot hear.
Very cool.
We
and
listened to
very
that
good.
spider.
Good thing I
I
got that
wonder
new
if it's
die.
the opposite. So if you stab me, maybe I'll heal.
Mm,
Just
Uh,
thought.
it's
Just
a bold
thought.
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
Sometimes it's moments like this when I wonder if that spider really had our best interests at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. That's on me.
Cool. And also, we are going to roll for initiative.
Oh my god.
Do I roll for initiative?
Oh, fuck.
Sir,
I mean, yeah. What if you get back up?
you got to know when your
Of
death
course,
saves
thank
come
you.
along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, actually. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? What
What
did I
should we
buy
get on
this
that
dice
20?
for? What did I buy this
It's a
die for?
19.
Nope.
These are
Man, I
great.
got
I can't.
so many people to roll initiative for.
What? Get out of here, DM.
What do you mean?
How much? What do you mean? What do you mean? There's a big pile of corpses in the corner. You think that's not gonna fuck us?
Well, I mean, I just meant we got Edmund.
That little girl from the other
Hunter.
room gonna come betray
So-
us?
Other Hunter has not dropped to 0 hit points, but other Hunter is crouched in the doorway with their hands over their ears.
You
And
know
they
what,
show-
valid.
They show no signs of leaving that particular spot anytime soon.
And they still have bark skin, so they still have an armor class of 16.
That is true. All right. So very cool and good. I will just need to know, Hunter, what did you get?
6.
All right, Max,
10.
Kelly,
19.
Wayne.
6.
A lot of doubles tonight. And Ed.
Gosh, don't say that.
Good
so
old
stressed.
Edmund.
I'm sweating.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Neither would I.
I was cold before we started the stream, and now I am not because my heart rate is up. What does my watch think I'm doing?
Okay.
No, I was about to check mine too. Oh, I'm only at like 79. That's fine.
So Kelly, you will be
Yeah?
going first.
Oh boy.
Except
Oh,
except
Good
the
start.
head. The head gets to
Mhm.
take a layer action first.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
fun.
Huh. All right.
Okay.
Max, can you pray to the Raven Queen while you're knocked out?
Mommy, please.
The Dreamweavers are feasting on your unconscious psyche.
Instead of
Okay.
coughing up blood, Max is coughing up raven feathers.
Yeah.
They're bats right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ew, bat wings.
It's gross.
true.
Leathery, furry tufts of bat. Oh, God. What's it doing? What
It is
horrible thing
actually
is it doing?
So the horrible thing that it is doing is it is going to sort of where it is hovering, it is going to reverse back into the bookshelf that it rose off of, and it is going to shatter something. It's going to shatter a jar that it had just sort of chilling there, and this sort of black inky substance starts to drip down the bookshelf, sort of washing over the other jars and some of the books and other things on this particular shelf. And it only does that for about a second before it goes taut and it flies across the room and it envelopes you, Kelly.
What the fuck? Get this
kind
venom
of-
ass shit out of me.
It kind of spreads over your body. It doesn't cover your face. You can still breathe and everything normally. You still can, hold all of your gear and everything, but it is kind of covering you completely head to toe, except for this space for your face. And it is as it covers you, you can feel the constant presence, the constant thrum of magic in a noon, even here in Barrow, be silenced. And you are inside of an anti-magic field.
Ouch.
And on that note, actually, it is your turn.
Cool. I can do literally nothing.
I mean,
I
you got weapons.
I can shoot one arrow at disadvantage per round, and that's literally all I can do for the entirety of this combat.
Would it not? Well, so the field doesn't last for the entire combat. I will say that. But the if you should have. Oh, you don't have 2 attacks because you're multi-classed.
And that's not even because I'm multi-classed. It's because both of these classes only have 1 attack. A rogue never gets a second attack.
Oh,
no.
That's interesting. Okay.
Unless I can do as like a bonus action, I can do a second with my offhand at like a disadvantage. I never get a second attack.
Okay. All right.
So
Understood.
I can do, and because
Oh no,
It's the anti-magic field.
it is.
what
You're
happened?
back. You just
Was it me?
flipped. Yeah,
Oh.
but you're back.
I'm like sitting here looking at my character sheet and literally, that's literally all I can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the shot, go for it.
I mean, I don't have a choice. I'm not going to walk away. Max is unconscious on the floor. I don't know what you're saying
Whoops.
that like I have other options. I don't.
You could try and like medicine check Max, right? Make
Yeah,
sure
but it
he
doesn't
doesn't die.
matter because I can't do anything to wake him up. None of my healing spells will work, and none of the potions will work.
But if you stabilize him, he won't have to roll death saves, so he won't like outright die. Probably.
There's that.
He'll be less likely to die. Guess it'll come down to the roll of the dice. You know what they say? Dice tells the story. Right now, the dice is telling a
It's true.
story that I don't love. But
I
the
am with
hero,
you.
the hero never just succeeds, right? You got to go through trials, tribulations. Maybe
Yeah, I
close
mean that's
friends
the
have to
hero's
die.
journey.
All right, this seems a little excessive. I've been covered by venom. I didn't even get a chance to defend myself against that shit. It just touched me. I hate that.
It's not a guaranteed. A layer action is not a guaranteed thing. There's a percent chance that it happens.
It touched me,
So,
and it's awful.
It did touch you. I'm sorry.
All right, so where is my other d20? Here you go. All right, so that's a 16 and an 18, so it's gonna be the 16. It's gonna be a 21 to hit.
Wow.
It's a non-magical bow, so it's probably gonna fuck me, but and it's 7 points of
Okay.
damage.
All right. You fire an arrow at this thing, and it you hit
Aim
it.
for
You
one
hit
of
it
its
pretty
horrible little
much.
eyes.
You hit it in one of its horrible little eyes, pretty much dead on, and your arrow passes right through it, and it pins that little eye right to the wall behind it.
Gross.
It is pretty gross, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's my turn.
Okay. All right. Which means that it is now the head's turn. And as the head begins to act, Wayne, you would be closest to other Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're crouched down in that doorway, rocking back and forth, hands over their ears. You can hear them saying quietly to themselves over and over again, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. All right.
Just some ambient.
Perfectly normal things.
Like when you've got a ship
Um,
creaking in the background when you're studying.
So we gotta see if the howl recharges. Okay. And all right. I need, let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect. All right. It is going to hover. While hovering, it is going to move a little bit closer to y'all.
Come and get it.
It's going to move to, I think, right there. It's going to be its best option. It's going to have to make some choices. You are all a little spread out at the moment.
Question about frightened. Does this, because I can't remember some of the differences between Pathfinder and this, do I have to get away from it now that it got closer to me? Or is it just I can't move closer?
You can't willingly move closer to it.
Okay, but
You don't
I
have to
don't feel
run.
compelled to run away. Okay.
No.
Just checking.
You do have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is within line of sight.
That I knew. I already did that.
Right. You rolled 2 d20s. I forgot. Okay. So it is going to move to there. And as its jaw once again unhinges, and you see the tongue. Can't forget to mention the tongue. You hear it inhale with a raspy, shuddering breath that you would assume has nowhere to go. But as it does so, you can feel that inhale start to tug at the very source of life inside of you. Kelly and Hunter, I need you to make Constitution saving throws.
That's not great.
And these are also at disadvantage, right?
It doesn't say anything about saves for frightened, actually.
Okay. Then I don't need that other dice. 21.
7.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Ouchie.
7. Hunter, you are going to take you're going to take 21 points of necrotic damage
Cool.
Oh.
Cool.
as it sucks away at your life force and vitality.
Cool.
And as it does so, as it finishes inhaling that, it's a very rattling and echoing voice that kind of makes it sound like it's inside of a large empty room, even though it's not. It says, I have waited thousands of years for this moment, and you will not take it from me. That is its turn, which means, Max, it's your turn. I need you to roll a death saving throw.
Aye, Gavin. Whatever you say. Practicing my new character voice. That's a 12!
Not so bad.
Hey.
Not so bad. Not so bad. You make
Not too shabby.
it. So let me give you a little
thing. Oh, yeah.
little life thing. Oh, they're all mixed up though. Hold on.
Oh.
Let me figure out which one you are. Wait, who did that? Okay, yeah, that is you. Perfect. You get a little life token. Good job. You got
Well,
one successful
ding.
life save under your belt.
Yay.
My voice is unhappy.
Where's your tea?
And Max-
You usually have tea.
I just drank it. I finished it. I'm gonna have to make more. Max, as you are lying there on the ground, completely sapped of strength, with that wail, that unearthly wail, still echoing in your ears, your vision is starting to blur at the edges. You're kind of just on your back looking up at this stone ceiling. Your ears are ringing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize this, but those around you can see, that there's blood dripping out of your ears. And your vision starting to go hazy. You could almost swear you hear the sound of many wings flapping.
Away or toward me?
Hard
Can
to
I
say.
tell that?
Hard to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
I'm just curious if they're coming
Okay,
for my aid
yeah.
or if they're abandoning me,
Mm,
leaving me to die.
yeah, hard to say.
She's pulling out of this investment.
Max too big to fail Miller.
Too big to fail, too hot to quit.
It's true.
Too hot to handle.
Let me check on this one thing right here. Okay, yeah. Cool. Edmund is going to boy. Edmund, we're gonna use one of these tokens. Edmund is going to toss out a like what looks like a little clockwork box onto the ground, and it is going to with a click and a whir of gears and shifting parts, it is going to unfold into what looks like a cannon, similar to the one that you have seen him summon on his arm. We're gonna reuse the old rifle icon here, and zoom on in a little bit there. Forgot it does not work as a touch screen at the moment. So he's gonna toss that out, and it is going to fire. It's gonna try to shoot the skull, the head.
Get him.
And then I always have the same issue with this, where like there's no damage listed for it, which is frustrating. But all right, I'm gonna treat it as PS.
I will just say, because I've been looking at gun rules for 5e, but they are so
Yeah.
confusing. I don't
They are
get
a
it.
little weird. But anyway, yeah. So it's going to attack the head, and it's going to actually hit. And it looks like it is going to hurt it. It is going to get struck full on in the face, which is all there is of it, with a flying projectile for a frankly surprising amount of damage. And be knocked off of its trajectory. Kind of drifts to one side with the force of the blow before being able to right itself, and it turns and levels at its one remaining good eye on Edmund, who I believe has done pretty much a whole turn of his stuff at this point. So he is going to actually move across the room to try to interpose himself between the head and Kelly.
Nice.
No, he's gonna kill him.
For good measure, he'll call out, "Get away from her," as he does so.
Oh God, he's so stupid. I love him.
Hunter.
Hunter's gonna go for their bow and attempt to take some shots and maybe mark this motherfucker as their favorite foe. We're gonna see how this goes with disadvantage.
Okay.
Is it at advantage because he has an opponent behind him, and we are kind of flanking. So is it a flat roll?
No flanking on ranged weapons
That's
attacks,
fair.
even using flanking rules.
Gotta shoot
I
your shot.
don't think they are going to hit, since that was a nat 1 on the first, and that was a total of 12 on the second.
Yeah, no, kind of a small target, unfortunately.
Yeah. They are, though, also going to send Callisto in.
Okay.
So they are going to send Callisto into. So I'm going to describe the entirety of what Callisto is aiming to do. So what Callisto is aiming to do, / what Hunter is aiming for Callisto to do, is to run in, maul the head, and then slide so that Callisto is standing over Max and protecting him.
All right.
So is Callisto rolling at disadvantage, is my question.
Is Callisto rolling disadvantage? Did you have Callisto make the saving throw?
I did.
Okay.
I did, just in case you wanted it.
What did they get?
19. They both, Hunter and Callisto, got a 19.
So Callisto is frightened. Technically, I'll say that Callisto has a very low intelligence, right?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to say here is that Callisto has an innate sense that this is dangerous. They are definitely frightened in a primal and animalistic way, but their desire to protect you and your friends,
and the ones I love,
sure, yes,
Specific,
allows them to overcome those baser instincts, and so it can charge at the head if you wanted to, or just stand over Max. Your choice.
Maybe both. Let's see how this goes. That's not going to happen either. The dice are hating me tonight. So yes, Callisto definitely only succeeds in standing over Max.
Okay,
because that was like an 8.
Oof.
Okay, yeah. The skull, the head just sort of ducks and dodges out of the way of the thorny strikes, and is sort of swiveling and trying to track all of you. Clearly having a kind of a hard time with all
Just
of that.
spinning like a top, just like, oh my god.
100%. Right. Very good, Hunter. And that brings us to Wayne.
So I took 61 points of damage, but was I also frightened?
No,
Did I get frightened too? Yes. All right.
you are not frightened.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna run up on this guy. I'm gonna roll on up. I'm gonna sprint at him. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably get there in time. I'm gonna go right here so I don't get shot in the back of the head. Either from a Winchester rifle or from Hunter. And I'm gonna take 2 swings at this guy. Actually, Max probably isn't flanking, so I'm gonna move there instead to hopefully get advantage on this attack. My DM allows it.
All right.
Yes.
I will give it to you.
Yes. Just gotta ask for it. All right. Wait. Let me. What do I add to it? I think it's 7. That's 8. That's 18. Does that hit?
An 18 does not hit.
Oh, fuck. Okay. No problem. I'm gonna roll.
We got 3 advantage in the
wait.
pool, I will say that. Although you already have advantage, so.
I was like, I didn't roll with advantage, and then I got a natural 6. Let me roll another attack. Attack number 2. That's a 15 and a 3. So 22. Does a 22 hit, DM?
22 does hit.
All right. Heck yeah. I'm gonna roll a 1d10 plus 4 of non-magical damage. That is an 8, and then I'm also going to Divine Smite on this guy. It's going to be a level 2 Divine Smite, which is 1, 2 plus 1 plus another one. I imagine he's probably undead. Is that a fair assumption?
Hard to tell.
Just gotta double check.
But
hard to tell.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. All right. So it's 4d8 radiant damage. And we'll see what that is. I got a 7, a 6, an 8, and a 1. So 22.
Okay.
So
Jesus.
I don't know if if you want to tell me, DM, does regular damage hurt this guy? So I can add it all up for you.
Regular damage does not. Although I do wonder, it would make sense to me if you Divine Smite. Does that not make all of your damage, at the very least, magical? Does it say anything about that?
It does not. But
Okay,
you're
all right.
in charge, right? You can make whatever rules you want.
It just seems to
You're
me like if
God,
you're
man.
using.
Gosh.
Yeah. It just seems to me like if you're using divine power to smite your enemy with your weapon, that it would sort of, make your weapon attack count as magic at the very least. I'll say sure. I'll give it to you. You are
Sick.
This is a rough
Heck
fight.
yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. That first attack was 30 damage, and then I'm gonna attack him again. Hit with my bonus attack. That's a 2. Oh wait, that's a 6 plus 4 is 20 or 10, and then I'm gonna add 10 to it with my whatchamacallit. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm gonna do it anyway, DM. It's
Okay.
You've got
I
you
know
got
what you're
one
talking
hit
about.
point. You're putting it
Channel
all-
Divinity. Channel Divinity. That's what it's called.
Yes.
So I got a 20. Does 20 hit?
20 hits, just barely.
Yes. Thank God. Thank DM. All right. So that was 30 on the first one. The second one is a 7 plus 4 is 11. And then I'm going to Divine Smite him another level spell. So that'll be another 4d8. Let's roll it, baby.
I'm doing them.
So that's a 7, a 6, a 7, and a 3, which is 23. So 23 plus 11. Oh, wait. Fucked up, DM. I'm a bad
trying to get the
person.
most mileage out of his one hit point as he can.
I'm
Bless him.
shooting for it. Oh, my bonus action is Polearm Master. Oh, wait, no, that's a D4. So I'm gonna roll that one more time. So that 23 stands. 1d4. All right. So it's 23 plus 6, 29. And
Okay.
so I imagine I like whap him on the side of the head with the regular end of the Gritsky stick, and it just like a white explosion of ice goes off, and then I spin it around and jab it through his empty eye socket with the other end of the stick. And from there,
All right.
it's just like an ice, like a glacier starts to form in his face. And then I pull it out, and it shatters again. Those are all the flavors of my Neapolitan attacks, and I end my
Yeah.
turn.
So what was that second attack? The total amount of damage? 29?
It was 29. Yep.
Okay. And that was all radiant, or
So
Well,
if you're counting
by
it as all
the
radiant,
rules? Yes.
yeah, by your rules, then
Yeah.
it's 29. If
Okay, cool.
so,
All right.
so what was that, like 29 plus 30 or something?
Yeah, it's not too shabby.
Wayne coming in just like absolutely nuts. That's a max.
Everything else, Wayne
Okay.
is just gray. I feel like empty of color. There's just like 2 pinpoints of blue in the back of his eyes that just like will not let him drop.
Oh, that is
Absolutely.
creepy. That is just
Absolutely
as
wild.
upsetting as this head with a tongue.
As you strike it, it opens its jaws one more time as you hit it, and it ices over, and it feels the sting of your divine light and attack. It screams. It screams, but not in the way that it howled before. This time it screams in pain.
Good.
And a little bit of rage. Now he is going to use some of his legendary actions
Oh no.
because he's mad now.
But
Aren't we
Shouldn't
all?
shouldn't be a dick. It's fine.
Everyone within 30 feet, which I believe is everybody at this point. Actually,
fair
yes.
assessment.
Okay, it is everybody. Needs to make another Constitution saving throw as he inhales sharply again, and you feel your life source starting to be
+2.
drained.
So, DM, do I just instantly fail that?
You do not instantly fail it.
So, do you want me to roll?
Because you are. I don't want you to roll. Actually,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
No
You said-
roll.
You said +2? Corey?
Everybody, I believe, except I don't know if you're within 10 feet of me, are you? 5? No, you're not. 5, 10. You're 50.
Technically, no. Kelly is right outside.
Everybody else. Max, you got it. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Hunter, what did you get?
Balls are-
15.
Okay.
Not bad.
+2.
That's +2.
Nice. Heck yeah.
You sort of feel yourself clinging to your vitality as it tries to inhale as it tries to suck in all of your energy from everybody gathered. Because there are so many of you, you get the impression that it is a weaker effect that affects a greater number of people. And as a result of that, it's spreading itself a little more thin than it was before. And so, excuse me, you manage to hold on to yourself. Kelly, what did you get?
19.
Nice.
Nice.
Same deal. You, I think Kelly, I think in your case, you are able to, you almost feel that emptiness, that void that exists inside of you sort of come to the forefront. Like as he is trying to absorb your life force, you're sort of able to present, consciously or not, this well of unlife instead
empty
of
juice
your
box.
living vitality.
The
Amazing.
stupid vampire got to it first, bitch.
Perfect. And then Corey, what did you get?
I got a 10.
Oh,
Total.
fucking
10 total.
hell.
All right.
Oh my god.
For the folks at home, that's a natural 4.
Oof,
You
oof.
had 1 hit point left.
I
Oh.
had 1 hit point left
Yeah.
until
You
this
had 1 hit
moment.
point left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Okay. You were going to take
Mm-hmm.
okay. I misread this actually.
No doubt.
Your
Easy. It gives me hit points.
your
The
your hit
only
point
way.
your hit point maximum
Oh, okay.
is reduced by 10.
Oh my god. No problemo.
Can't heal anyway.
I can't heal anyway.
Wait, is that permanent? Is that like a curse?
It's a great question.
Is that a horrible curse?
Who can say, honestly?
I don't even need it.
Who can say? All right. Did legendaries
Bad.
which means that we are back up to the top of the round on initiative count 20. Kelly, the you are able to pry this black inkiness off of your body. And it kind of just disintegrates into shreds. And you feel the natural magic of Anun like surge back into you. But also on initiative count 20, I have to roll this, and
No.
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
Is it?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh God, no.
Okay. The head rises just about a foot higher into the air than where it was, and it seems to be agitated. It is shifting in place, kind of turning to face different directions in a strange, kind of unnatural way. The ground, the mortis spire, starts to tremble again, the way that you've felt it do several times now when you were in the other room and other parts of the tower. And as this is happening, the head is going to say aloud, sounding almost panicked. No, it's not ready. It's not ready yet. Stop it. And everybody's going to have to make, everybody standing is going to have to make a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone.
Bowser.
God.
All right, new die. Don't make me throw you away. All right, not bad.
At least my dex saving throw is 5, is a +5. So hopefully I can't fuck this up. Is this it? I forget already. Is this at disadvantage too? It's only ability
saving
checks.
throws
and
are not at
attacks.
yeah. And I believe actually the frightened was only for 1 turn. I believe you're fine now.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was just for the rest of our life. Okay.
I mean,
No.
we cannot be afraid for the rest of our lives. I think we all will be afraid for the rest of our lives.
I mean, I'm gonna see that horrible flesh tongue monstrosity in my nightmares from now until 5 ever. 17.
It is bad. Okay. 17 fails. You are knocked prone.
Great.
17
Holy moly.
Does a 19 fail?
19 makes it. Hunter, you manage to keep your feet.
I also got a 19.
Nice.
Okay. So Wayne, you also managed to stay on your feet.
That +2, man. Keeping me up.
Wayne.
Wayne.
Wayne the ever
Wayne's the best of
standing.
us.
Edmund. Duh. Does
Wayne the
Edmund fall down?
unrelenting.
Oops. Edmund does fall down. What I'm going to say happens with Edmund is Kelly, as you start to fall, he tries to catch you. But unfortunately, you both sort of just get entangled and you both end up on the ground.
This romantic comedy happening in the background of all this shenanigans.
This meet cute.
This is a horrifying situation, but somebody would absolutely cut it into a romantic comedy trailer.
Oh, of
It's
course.
true.
Funny that everybody else went romantic comedy, like the America's Funniest Home Videos music is playing in my head.
There's like studio audience laughter
Yeah.
and like, aw.
The swoop.
But Kelly, it is your turn, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Shoot. Where did I just put my pen?
I guess I'm gonna get back up, which is half my movement, all my movement. I don't know.
Half.
Half.
Yeah.
Okay.
You aren't going to use that anyway.
No, not really. Get back up. If Edmund's still on the ground, there's nothing in between the two of me and the head.
Nice.
So I'm gonna look at it. and I'm gonna tell it. Nobody cares if it's ready or not. You did this to yourself with all of this unnecessary farming bullshit. And then I'm just going to shoot it with the caster that Max gave me.
Nice.
Okay. Very
which
nice.
I had one shot.
One
I think
bullet.
it was magic.
That's all he needs.
It was the magic missile one, right?
Magic
Yeah.
missile, yes.
Which is a D. What is it?
4.
Yep.
1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1.
But it automatically hits.
It does. For max damage of 5. So that
Let's
happens.
go.
And then with my bonus action, I am going to. Where is it? Yeah. With my bonus action, I'm gonna plop out spiritual weapon
Nice.
right here, and it is gonna try to
Surrounded.
bap him.
All right.
We are just here
Gonna
to fight.
Bully him. Push him.
Push around, yeah. Take his lunch
All right,
money.
going back to our Ohio roots.
Everything I learned
attempt
from
to
Max.
Max is missing this.
Attempting to bap with, you know what?
Taught you well.
I will just use one of our advantages that we've got in the pool to try
Yeah.
to bap him.
Okay.
Get back in the box. Okay. So that's either a 13 or an 18 on the die. So I'm going to go with that 18. 18, 22, 23, 24 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, and then that's going to be 2d8. Where is my other d8?
Your Spencer's Gift electricity orb slams into the
Hell
side of the
yeah.
head as it is panic floating in the air.
Yeah, floating.
The 7,
Oh,
8,
no.
for 10 more points of damage. So
Okay.
15
and that's
points
just
total.
an attack, right? That's not a saving throw.
Correct.
15
just
points total, and that's force damage.
Force lightning.
Okay.
But yeah, so I basically just tell it, like, essentially, shut the fuck up, you did this to you. And then I shoot him. We
All
wouldn't be
right.
here in your living room kicking the shit out of you if you had just been a
Got
decent
Netflix
person.
on. You're watching
Uh,
Seinfeld.
There's Love Island going on in the background.
The skull is going crazy. The skull is vibrating in the air, and as it does so, you hear this echoing thump
Oh no.
from somewhere else in the room.
Oh no.
The head grows still, and it takes you a second to realize that the thumping noise is coming from the dome.
That's not good. That's bad.
And the thumping noise is coming from the dome, and you can just you can see as you look past the chaos and through the glass covering, as sort of distorted and fogged over as it is with the red light coming up, what almost looks like a giant skinless fist
Oh.
thumping against the inside of the dome.
I would like to represent my Resident Evil theory.
Absolutely huge. And on that note, at that moment, the head stills, like I said, and crows victoriously
Shit.
and says, It rises. It rises my second chance. And it unleashes another unearthly wail. It howls. And I'm going to need Constitution saving throws from everyone who can hear it.
Sir.
Oh, which dice do I want to use? I'll use this one.
Yeet. Oh, that was a
Okay.
that was a good one. That was a great roll.
Everyone looks really
Let's start.
upset. I don't
Hunter,
like
what did you
this.
get?
I got an 8.
+2?
Hunter.
Oh, I got a 10.
There you go.
Nice.
Sure.
Hunter.
What
Makes
is
so
going
much of a
on
difference.
tonight?
Hunter, you drop to 0 hit points and thus the ground. And in a, I'm going to say that in a swirl of wind and leaves, Callisto also vanishes.
Fuck, dude. Fuck.
That's bad.
Kelly,
19.
you are frightened, but you do not drop. Wayne,
I got a 10. I think Hunter and I rolled the same. Like every roll.
that's cute.
I don't even roll the die. I just wait for whatever JD says.
You're just like, same.
I'm like, JD?
Hunter and Wayne, you both feel simultaneously the blinding pain as your eardrums burst. And you drop to the ground as everything starts to go black around you.
The headlights or deadlights, those like little pinpricks just like snap and Wayne falls to the ground.
Exactly. Let me just
Man,
delete
come on,
Callisto
Wax. Max, what you been doing, bro?
What?
there.
Pull your weight.
Kelly,
I rolled
you scan the room as
Yep.
your allies drop to the ground in similar states to Max Miller. And as you do so, you see
Where
that
did Max go? Wait.
I'm gone.
I don't know. I didn't
think
delete
I'm on
Max.
another plane,
because
baby.
Callisto was over
I
him.
looked up and I realized Max's body
okay.
is gone.
I'm with Ryan right now.
So
Don't
funny
worry about
story.
it.
in your dreams.
Funny story. What happened is Callisto is a mount token, and if you put a regular token on top of a mount token, they lock together. So when I deleted Callisto, Max was
Callisto
technically
turned
riding
into a pile
Callisto.
of leaves and blew away with Max.
Is that
Yes.
a not one immediate on my death saving throw since you deleted me from the board?
No, you are in good
Oh my
good old shape. Don't worry.
God.
Let's bring you back out, shall we?
It's so
Just to keep track of you.
so many
I think you were
plans.
somewhere like there.
Keep track of my death.
Perfect.
Incredible. I love it.
Kelly, but Kelly, as you were looking around and you take all of this in, your gaze falls on Edmund, who has not had the chance to rise off of the floor and who's also bleeding out of his ears. And the rhythmic thumping starts to grow as you, it is joined by the sound of glass cracking
Oh, shoot.
as the dome starts to give out under the assault of the fist.
Yes. As the horrible Resident Evil hand is going to grab me. Go on.
Yep. It's on its way. Don't you worry. Ed is going to move closer. Actually, the head is going to fly in a way that it does not provoke things and is going to hover over the dome, watching with rapt attention, staring straight down at it. Yeah. And that is all.
Yeah.
That is all that that's all the head is going to do on its turn, which brings us to Max. Well, that death saving throw.
14.
Let's go.
All right. Give you that second token there. Boy, wow. Pretty light showing at this point in the game. Edmund's out, Hunter's out, Wayne's out. But we do need some saving throws from all of you.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Well, for those of you keeping score at home, I don't have one of these set up for Edmund on the board, but he did just fail his first saving throw.
Oh my fucking god.
Can't believe you're gonna do this to me.
Does
Listen,
a 14 make it?
Yeah.
Yes.
14 does make it. Yep.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Nice.
And you make it as well.
Let's go.
What do I have?
I'll throw it out there. I roll death saves at advantage because I deserve to be alive.
Ooh,
Nice.
Amazing.
Because God loves me.
sounds like a joke,
But it's true.
but it's not. Fuck yeah. Okay. Good. Two successes and only one failure, which is very good. Very cool.
I'm just like, don't mind me. I'm just like looking through
Max.
my stuff and trying to figure out my options.
Max.
Yeah.
At that moment,
Oh god.
as you are lying there on the ground and you sort of you hear the flapping sound, the sound of wings growing closer. You're fairly confident at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You feel a hand on the side of your face. And then another one on your shoulder, shaking you. And for a second, you think you are home and your mom is waking you up for school.
I shake her off. I'm like, not now, Joanne.
The sensation persists. The shaking comes again. Stops for a second, and that happens again.
I keep kind of trying to shake it off, and kind of pull trying to pull like the covers up over me, like reaching for them.
Yeah. You don't
the covers.
feel any covers or anything like that, and you realize as you reach for them that you are really cold. And you hear a voice that is not Joanne Miller say, I know not this name that you call me, but you will arise.
Do I recognize the name or the voice? Have I heard it before?
Yeah, you do. You totally do.
Hmm.
Takes you a second to place it. It just sounds very familiar. It sounds almost strangely familiar.
Hmm. I think I'm
You do
laying there.
recognize. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I'm laying there, and as this voice that's not my mom that speaks to me, I'm just like laying there in like a strong frown, but my eyes are still closed, like hoping in my brain that this is just one of those weird half awake dreams, and that I'll just like at some point reach down and like pull my covers up and like out, or like open my eyes and it'll be like the alarm clock or something like that. I probably don't have an alarm clock, but
For goodness sake, if you're content to let your companions die, by all means, sleep on.
I bolt up.
What the fuck did you say?
I immediately, eyes wide open, as I say, I shoot up and I say, "Where are they?"
You open your eyes, you sit up. What does Max's childhood bedroom back in Ohio look like?
Oh. Spooky.
So spooky, no. My childhood bedroom is actually like, it's not necessarily it's not very big. It's fairly like standard. There's no like windows or anything like that. It's just like my tiny bed in the corner. Like dark blue walls and just whatever. Like I don't have posters, but I do have like cutouts and stuff from like, or like things I've ripped out of magazines and like stuck on the walls with like whatever sticky thing I could find. Like if I found tape, I would tape them up like duct tape. Or if I just found some gum, I would be like, sure, like that works, I guess. Why not? It sticks to the wall. Problem solved. I definitely have some like ripped out magazine pictures of like wrestlers, like WWE wrestlers, and like some strongmen, like movie theaters and stuff, like movie stars or whatever. I don't have like like in the corner. I have a bag full of like water bottles, like used water bottles, full of like dirt and sand to try to make them heavy, to like try to like makeshift weights.
Oh my god.
So I can lift. And then I have a light. I don't have any books. I don't fucking read. I have like some textbooks on the floor. And like just trash, like snacks and stuff from where maybe I stole them. maybe I took them. And yeah, it's definitely not like a real house. Like it's like a metal, like I don't know if it would be like necessarily like a mobile home, but it's definitely like that type of style that's like those like put together box houses. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. And standing next to your bed, you sit up sharply. You are, as you appear in a new, armored, older, exactly what you'd expect to see in the
Weird.
mirror, standing next to your bed, you see Joanne Miller. You see your mom. She looks, tired, like she just got off of a double. probably wearing like overalls and a white shirt. Hair's a little disheveled. But her expression is cold. Colder than you ever saw her when you were growing up. And she has her arms crossed over her chest impatiently.
Mom,
Well,
you said something. Where are they? Where did they go?
I am not your mother,
Joanne.
obviously. This is the form and the location your mind has selected in its dying moments. Your mom looks around with disdain at the room and says, for some reason.
I think I look like a little bit ashamed, and like disappointed that I didn't choose like a cooler place, like, but also comfort, and like I just kind of like touch my mattress and like my bed posts or whatever, and I kind of nod and say, it's not the worst place to spend the last hours of your life. So
Certainly a matter of opinion. It is fascinating that you would be drawn to such squalor in your last living
you know, my mom
moments.
is a lot nicer. So
She fixes you with a very intense stare and says, when we made our bargain, it was not because I was nice.
what can I do? I'm, like you said, I'm dying. I doesn't feel like I am. Doesn't look like I am. I like try to like, can I just punch the wall and see if I have like any of strength left? Like can I try to go into a rage and like punch a wall?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay,
you can. I mean,
do
I
that.
imagine one of the walls probably already has like a bunch of fist
Yeah, oh, sure, for sure,
in it.
for sure.
So you can just kind of turn and add to those. And it feels normal. It feels like punching a wall. And with an exasperated sigh, you're not mom, no Anne, which Justin, that's very good.
Anne.
Thank you. No
That's
Anne.
very good.
It's very good. It lets out an exasperated sigh and says, you are a being of singular intent. But we do not have an abundance of time.
So tell me what to do.
Your companions are dying, as you are. And
Where?
I will not let Jotun Wilt bring his dark god into my world when I have only just returned.
Tell me how to get back. I'll do what you want. I'll protect my friends, and I'll kill this guy. He's just the head, right? Next time I won't be so
He
weak.
He is all that remains after my sister unmade him thousands of years ago.
Who's your sister?
She laughs and says, she's of no consequence.
Okay.
Fuck.
I made a promise to you, and I'm doing my best to keep it. Maybe I need a little boost to get out of here to complete said promise. So
We can.
sooner we get out of here, sure I can crack that skull.
Noanne smiles, but her
Can't get over that.
So good.
her incisors are just slightly too sharp, and
Ooh.
there's no warmth or joy to it. She says, as you are inside the city, and I am not, our only recourse is to expand our deal. The
Okay.
connection that you and I share works as a conduit. I will give you more power, enough to finish this.
Enough to save them.
She rolls her eyes and says, if you must.
I do. I must.
She takes a few steps, pacing around your bed, not taking her eyes off of you. It feels almost predatory. She says, if I live a million more years, which I will never understand. I'll never understand you, humans. And the way you cling to each other.
We're all we have. What do you have?
Interesting.
Give her a crisis.
Max, can you roll me an insight check?
Yeah, okay. Let me see what my insight is. Probably no very good. What is my insight actually? Oh, it's 0. We're good. Not -1. That's a 10.
Hey.
Hey.
Good old
Okay.
10.
With a 10, I think there's a fleeting moment. With a 10, I think there's a fleeting moment. You're almost not sure if you really see it or not, but you could almost swear that you see a range of emotions across your mom's face. Anger, first pain, first shock, then pain, then anger, and then back to a neutral expression. And instead of answering you. She says, when I send you back, what is most important is you or your allies. You kill, destroy, until there is no trace left. His creation.
That thing in the dome.
He needs 1,000 sacrifices. He has had millennia to plan. He has found a more efficient way.
And for those 1,000, and for those you, I'll do it.
Cocks her head almost in a bird-like gesture. She examines you. Says, you may not survive.
I say that every day. Just got to go another 24 hours.
All right. Yeah, sure.
It's either die here, right? Or go back. Not much of a choice.
With that same sort of predatory smile on her face, she leans over the base of your baseboard of your bed and lays a hand on the side of your face again. And she says, make me proud, son. Kisses your forehead and then violently shoves you back. And before your head hits the pillow, your eyes open and you're back in Mortis Spire.
Oh my god.
Oh
my
my
god. I'm not the only person awake anymore. My god.
And we will find out what happens after a break.
Oh god.
Spicy. Spicy.
Oh my god.
Nice and spicy.
So we're gonna go take about a 10-minute break. We will be back. Don't go anywhere, and we will see you real soon. Hello, we're back.
Oh my god, that was the longest silence of my life.
we just took some
How
deep
scary.
breaths.
We sat there in silence for 10 minutes. Nobody even went and peed or anything. That's how much the tension is.
The stress of it all.
So much going on, honestly. Let's go back to our battle map. Also, before we get into it, fucking thank you, Retson, for donating $100 to the International Rescue Committee.
Big numbers.
Jesus. Yeah,
Amazing.
no kidding.
Big old Benji.
Thank you so much. We're getting closer to that goal every day. The International Rescue Committee appreciates it too. That being said, get one advantage.
Oh no.
Nice.
Retson.
Per the rules.
Per the rules.
Per
But
the rules.
big donations. We
Big
appreciate
donations.
them.
Yeah,
It's a win-win.
We don't do it for the advantage. I know that.
No.
I know that about
I'm
you.
gonna donate 100 $1 bills. Mess
Yeah.
up the economy.
Right. Max,
Oh God.
you awaken back in Mortispire on the ground. Looking around, you can see Wayne's body, Hunter's body, Edmund's body. You can see Kelly still standing and her orb also still hovering there. You can see across the room, you can see other Hunter sort of peeking around the corner of the door jamb, the panicked expression. And you can also see cracks spreading over the glass dome as a giant meat fist pounds against the inside of it. You can also see the head floating above it. And the first thing you notice is you feel incredibly, impossibly powerful. Would you like to
Okay.
switch to your second character sheet?
I would.
Wow. Let's go.
I'll go ahead and do
All
that.
right.
Oh.
Your Super Saiyan 2 character sheet.
I'm so excited.
As you stand up, which I'm assuming you are doing,
Yeah. It feels weird because the weight, like I feel taller and stronger, and it's almost like I'm not used to this body yet. But I stand.
But I stand.
do you look any different in your mind when Kelly
Yeah.
peers over at you, when you see Max
Oh.
rising to his feet? What does Kelly see?
Oh no.
Kelly sees Max is towering even taller than he was before.
Go on.
I feel like his skin is now just like a gray, and before you had seen like stitches and inklings of like his of these like black, almost like lightning swirl lined tattoos on like peeking up from his neck and like a little bit on his back. Now it's just everywhere, on his face, on his arms, on his legs, fingers, like under his nails. You see he's not raging, but his eyes are red. His hair is longer than it was before. And he looks like he's on fire, but it's not fire. It kind of looks like almost like a smoky black flame. And it like as the little wisps kind of like peel off his body, they kind of like disappear and float like feathers.
So I just if this is a good thing or if this is some horrible he died in Barrow and now he's a horrible undead thing. I don't know how she's gonna take it. She can't really trust it. She's just kind of like she's got this going on in front of her. She sees this out of the corner of her eye and she's like she's got the spiritual weapon ready to bap you in the back of the head if you do any hinky shit. She doesn't know. But yeah, so she just kind of like, if he looks at Kelly just kind of tenses up just a little bit more. Just like, oh shit.
Max,
But she makes note of all of that.
Max, as you rise up to your feet, which gets easier with every inch as you stand up straight. As you plant your right foot to give yourself leverage, that sort of black flame aura surrounding you spreads out, rushes out across the floor in a very low curtain. The flames dance across the stone and over the glass shards and wash over each of your bodies, including you, Kelly.
Oh, she doesn't like that.
And
So
all of you are going to gain 50 temporary hit points, which cannot take you over your maximum.
that does put me back at maximum, though. So
That is fine.
Heck yeah.
As you feel your wounds start to close, you feel your hearing starting to slowly come back. That ringing starts to fade. And you all see Max standing there, but a very different looking Max Miller.
I think at that Kelly does, like, the tension just eases off just slightly off of her shoulders, just like just the slightest touch at that. She's just like, oh, thank God.
It definitely doesn't feel like magical healing. You've all been healed magically before. This does not feel like that. This feels like, this feels like shotgunning an energy drink at 4 a.m. Like,
Incredible.
are you gonna make it? You gonna make it through the night? Yeah. Is it gonna feel good? No.
No. Gonna be recovering from this for weeks.
Max, as that aura extends off of you and touches your companions, the head slowly spins in the air to look directly at you. And its one remaining eye widens. What do you do?
I stick my hand up and I point at it. And I say, with almost like an echo to my voice, I say, I serve the Raven Queen and I serve my people. You do not belong to this world, and I will take you out of it. And then I hex him. And then I jump at him and I will try to cut him with my packed weapon.
So you'll probably have to summon your packed weapon to your hand first.
I'll do that.
Yeah. So I think to go along with the aura, that sort of black smoky flame around you coalesces into your hand and forms a weapon unlike anything any of you have ever seen before. You recognize it as being vaguely axe-shaped. It's about the size of a great axe, the one that Max passed off to Kelly, except this has a polished wooden handle made out of some kind of dark wood. And the head of the axe, which is enormous, looks like the blade of a guillotine.
Whoa.
The haft of the weapon is wrapped in a bloody knotted, a blood-stained, it's not actively bloody, a blood-stained knotted rope that winds all the way down the haft. And the blade of it is notched and shows the sign of much use. You have your weapon in hand, Max. You are hexing. Is that a saving throw?
Nope, I just do it.
Right.
I am going to give him disadvantage on let's say ability checks of strength checks.
Heck yeah.
All right. He has disadvantage on strength checks.
Mhm.
Okay. And you were leaping at him and you are attempting to hit him with your weapon. Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
Okay.
I literally just like jump from where I'm standing up at him at the dome.
All right. Roll to hit,
Okay.
if you'd be so kind.
Oh my god.
That's a nat 20. I know you're joking. I'll show you right now.
No.
Fuck yeah, you can't make
Yeah, I
this
don't know
up.
if you can see it.
Amazing.
Cool
Hell
bag.
yes.
Oh,
Wreck
man.
his shit. Please.
Wowie.
Well,
The fate
well.
blessed me.
This
The
is what
moonlight
this is
fell.
what the Rave this is what the Morgan wanted when she killed us.
Mhm. All right, we got a lot
Okay,
of
what are we doing
we got a lot
here?
of shit to figure out here.
Oh my
so
God.
obviously you hit.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my
You-
first
all
attack.
right. So let's figure that out because your weapon is sort of variable when it comes to additional attacks.
Right. So do you want me to just go ahead and roll my second attack and then my third and fourth?
And fourth. Get the hell out of
Jesus.
here.
Is this the barbarian?
Multi-class
Do you want me
barb
to do
fighter warlock.
I'm trying to think
You
of the
want me to-
best way to do this. Let's do the crit first, and then we'll go into your
Okay.
other attacks.
Okay. So this is 2. Oh. And where's my D6? Here we go. Do I get to choose the type?
You do.
Cool.
Oh my God.
I guess let's do fire.
What are you?
I didn't roll great. That's 14 12 20 damage on that. Oh, plus 28 damage, sorry.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Um
And that's not doubling for the crit, right?
that is doubling, yeah.
Oh,
I
that is
rolled
doubling for
I
the crit.
rolled
Okay.
different dice. I rolled like 4 dice instead of the
Okay, cool.
Oh wait,
good.
I'm sorry. I missed an extra 2d6.
There it is.
I was
Thank you
that's
for reminding
low.
me. I didn't roll very good. My dice was like, you get a nat 20, but you don't get anything else. That's going to be a 34.
Hell yeah. All right.
Oh my God. What are you?
Second attack
Second of 4? What?
is going to be a 25 to hit.
25 will hit. What are the 4 attacks from? Just out of curiosity.
So I was reading this earlier. Let me
And
find
this-
it on this
You know what
big
happens
ass
when Rolf
character sheet.
reads.
Yeah. Listen, I chose -1 intelligence for a reason.
Oh my God. I am so entranced right now.
Where is it? Hold on. Oh my god, hold on. I have to read through paragraphs right now.
Like this is straight up like every time.
Ta ta.
Rob, where does it say that you can do that? Oh, I swear it's somewhere in here.
I mean,
I
I have
just
extra attack. I
feel
can
like
attack
I
at least
should.
twice. I feel like I
feel-
should. I rolled an at 20.
Oh, yeah.
No. I will find it because I remember reading it and being like, "Wow, that's pretty sick."
Okay. You
It is
can
sick.
definitely attack at least twice.
Mhm, mhm.
Now, if you make,
I'll look for it.
if you were to try to make, if you were to make the second attack your claws, then you'd be attacking twice. But that's still only 3.
No.
No, I
What
want
does
to
that
do
do?
4.
No, actually, I'd like to do the 4 attack. Okay, maybe did I read a different thing then? Maybe I don't know. This is like
Maybe.
pages long, so
I think that
How-
was
Yeah,
the way.
there's a lot of stuff on
how-
this sheet.
there's a lot of
Pages is your new
little
character sheet.
things here. So
It is 12 pages long.
Shut up.
So hold on. I'm just gonna also go ahead and
Max sold
Christ,
his soul and
hold
was like,
on.
I am ripped now.
this is gonna take me a second.
What else do you
No,
sell
you're
your soul
good.
for?
I mean,
Um,
looking through the sheet now, I think it's you can attack twice. If you make one of those attacks your
mhm.
claws, you can attack with 2 claws.
no, that's okay.
You can also attack and do a cantrip, I believe.
Yes.
Now, I will say one of the properties
Oh.
of your weapon is that when you do a cantrip and use it as an arcane focus, you can also attack immediately after with the weapon.
What?
That's what I was reading. Okay, also I did forget another 2d6. I'm so sorry. I forgot about my hex.
Right.
But hold on,
I'm
I
just-
literally have to control F
What?
because this is impossible.
Yeah.
I am so fascinated. I'm just glad that for once it sounds like you got a really good deal for selling your soul.
Okay, no, this is good. Okay.
This seems pretty
So-
legit.
So I was at 34, 41. Sorry. Okay. 41. I will attack again with same baby. Which was
Okay.
a 25. So let me
Perfect.
scroll
Okay.
back
And
up.
remember the enhancement bonus for your weapon goes down on the second attack.
Yes. I'm aware. And that will be that's this one and this one
Oh.
and this one. And I'm also I'll do cold this time.
Okay.
'Cause why not?
Why the frig not?
Do it to him.
Oh my god, these dice actually hate me. That's it's gonna only be a 15.
Okay. 15 damage.
I'm sorry, I forgot about hex again. 20 damage. Okay.
All right.
You've got a lot of pieces on the board.
Cool.
You have
Can I
attacked
still do a
twice.
cantrip technically? Since I used my weapon? Do I have to do that first?
No, it's the opposite. If you cast a cantrip, you can attack with your weapon, but if you attack with your weapon, you can't cast a cantrip, if that makes
That's totally
sense.
fine. I'm fine with my hex and my attacks.
Okay. Everybody else, you see that. You see Max leap at the head.
Oh, I'm
and-
so sorry. One last thing.
Yes, of course.
Can he please do a wisdom saving throw? Thanks.
He can, but he's going to spend a legendary to make it automatically.
That's fine. He has to do it twice because I hit him twice. So
Okay.
let me
think
triple check
he-
that because apparently my reading skills are all bad.
I mean, you're
You're
reading
good.
12
I think it's every time I
pages of
hit,
character
but-
sheet.
He's going to use 2. He's just going to use 2
Okay.
legendaries then.
That's fine.
He's been through enough.
He's like, this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Sleeping on my shelf. Get woken
You're-
up.
So you see Max leap at the head, leap over the dome, bring the bring this axe, this guillotine bladed axe, down on on the top of the skull, where it seems to make contact with some sort of invisible force, and you can sort of see them straining against each other. You can see the blade of the axe sort of pushing, and whatever this barrier that you cannot see is made out of, it. You can see it sort of bending, but not completely shattering. However, Max not letting up, the blade continues to push against this invisible field, and it doesn't quite make contact with the skull, but you can see the point on the skull right underneath it start to spiderweb with cracks.
Ooh.
And we will re-enter our initiative order, which means that we are on initiative count 20.
Oh, shoot.
Meaning a thing happens.
Did you guys hear that?
No, what was it?
There's just a bunch of hurricane alarms going off.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
super.
You know,
that's
like you have the
fun.
emergency response on your phone. Just hear it in the other
Aw.
room going off. I have mine on
no.
mute.
All right. No layer action is going to take place, which means that it's actually Kelly's turn.
Okay. I'm in a little bit of a quandary because of where Max landed. Because I spent the whole rooting through all my stuff. I have the scroll of lightning bolt,
Nice.
which
Just
I
allow
was
me.
going to use at the skull and dome with the hopes of just using the conductive water to electrocute the shit out of whatever is in there while I bap the skull. Because it's just a straight path through, so I can hit both of them. And, like, as far as I can tell, that horrible hand thing is coming through no matter what. Might as well try to hurt it on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
But now, Max is standing there.
Yes.
And I can still hit the skull without hitting Max. But if I want to be able to hit the dome and the skull, I don't know what that
Hit
does to
me.
Max.
Can you just
Eh.
move it a diagonal?
Yeah, I think you would be able to target it on a diagonal. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have a straight path. Max is sort of off to one side from where you're standing. So,
Mm-hmm. It's
and this is the scroll skin you got in Central Slum, right?
yeah, that I got off of the one of the hanged men.
Right. So these are glowing runes on your arm,
Mm-hmm.
resembling a tattoo of some kind.
Yep. All right. I mean, I think I'll use it. What do you have to roll something to use a scroll?
No.
Do I have to roll like arcane or something?
No, not if it is a spell that you would normally be able to cast, which
it is on my spell list.
yes. So then you can just cast it. He gets to make a saving throw.
Dex.
Full damage or half damage. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Well, the Raven Queen's favor shines on you again. I rolled a 1.
Nice.
Okay.
Failed it. And
Okay.
what is the damage?
8d6.
Okay.
Which, so that might take a second. Hold on.
I found it.
Okay.
I was not lying to you.
All right.
It's fine.
I look forward to hearing about it.
I'm about to copy it to you.
Hold on, 1 second.
I could copy it. There we go.
Let's see. Show it to me.
I want to see it in black and white.
Let's see it.
I'm doing it.
I mean, they probably photoshopped it anyway, so.
Ah, right.
Absolutely
Right.
rude,
Okay.
dude.
Yep. You are correct. That is a shockingly real thing.
It's 33 points.
Shockingly real.
It's real.
I
33
ain't
points of
lying.
damage.
33 points of lightning damage.
Your lightning bolts, first of all, what is the design of the scroll skin look like? You put it on your arm?
Mm-hmm. So Kelly had kind of, well, not like, because her, so it was on her upper arm, so it was like on the space between the top of her shirt and where her glove ends. So it was up here, and it kind of wrapped through. And what it looked like is, it looks like when trees are struck by lightning and they get that spidery vein through it, it follows that kind of like spidery vein in, like, I imagine it's that green color of Barrow magic, but because it's touching her, it takes on that like weird, like not quite right sickly green. So it was like this like faint like green, and then as she like gears up to cast it, it gets like steadily brighter, and then like as it leaves her skin, it like shifts to the purple, like the lavender purple lightning, and just like arcs straight off.
Your lightning bolt passes through the dome and hits the skull in the process. I think it strikes, and it is going to shatter some of the glass as it passes through. And it strikes the skull, strikes the head as well. The head, the sparks, the lavender sort of lightning sparks dance over the skull's head. Going to get real body horror here, and I'm going to say that as a result of that, its remaining eye is going to pop.
Gross.
From the force of the lightning, and the tongue, you can see the tongue blacken in its mouth.
Hell yeah.
Clears through to the other side as it takes clearly takes damage from that. You said it was 33?
33.
Okay, you don't get the impression it is as effective as it would be on a living creature, but
yeah,
it clearly hurts.
Okay.
And in the process, the fist draws back down. The fist stops hitting the dome and drops out of sight. Is that your whole turn? Using the scroll?
Yeah, because, well, my bonus action, let's see. How far can you move, you little sucker? Hold on. Let me move this. How many feet can you move? 60 feet. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Hello. And
Right.
Incredible.
And according to the verbiage, as a bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon and repeat the attack against the creature within 5 feet. So I'm gonna bip you.
Bip.
Okay.
Bip.
Well, I'm
Bip and
gonna
bop.
try to bip him.
Roll to bip.
14 on the die. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Does a 20 hit?
20 hits, just barely.
Just
Oh. Then he's going to take 8 more points of force lightning.
All right.
Yeah.
And that is my turn.
All right. Big turn. Lots of lightning, as it should be. Which means that it is the head's turn, and the head is going to fix its entire attention, even though you just fried it several times over and destroyed its eyes. Its last eye, Kelly.
Horrible.
It is going to focus its attention entirely on Max. And they're sort of still locked in this power struggle between the sheer force of the magic that is holding the head together and the power that Max is currently wielding. And the skull, the head says, you can't be here. That's not possible.
Well, you can't see, but I'm here.
No, not
Yeah.
again. Not again. And it is going to try to drain you of your life force. It's going to try to drain you of as much of your life force as it possibly can. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Sure. Will do. Let me pull up my Constitution. Giddy, 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 giddy. Ooh, DM, that's a 28.
Nice.
Oh my god. I love it.
You guys got a lot of constitution.
You resist. It is like standing in front of a hairdryer compared to what it felt like before. It feels like nothing, and it is all too easy for you to just completely stop it from happening. Completely keep your living essence from leaving your body. Which really sucks for him. Because
I
he
say
is
that,
not.
that really sucks for you.
He is not moving, and none of you are close enough to be affected by this. So things are not looking too good here. Which means it's Max's turn.
Oh my god, get him.
Yep. Do it. Do it.
Get him.
Okay, DM. You called me a liar and I gave you receipts.
That is true. You did give me receipts.
Raf seats.
Receipts.
Hey.
It's very good.
I'm going to do a little. God, okay, hold on. Let me zoom out. I'm like 300% right now. That's probably not good enough.
Reading it one letter at a time.
It literally kind of is.
Yes, and the text got very tiny.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to grab the skull, press my head up against it, and I'm gonna say, it's happening again, and this will be the last time it happens to you. And then I'm going to rage. And I just turn into like basically what I look like, but as like a giant raven monster. And then I'm going to take my trusty axe, my trusty gallows, and I'm just going to like smash him down. And I'm just going to do that a lot. And I'm going to do that recklessly. let me go ahead
And
do that.
just to call it out, because you're using Thirsting Blade and this is your packed weapon, whenever you take the attack action with it, you can attack with it twice.
There we go.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
actually, let me do my things before. I always forget. I have things that I do when I rage. Real quick.
There's
I'm gonna
so
roll.
much happening.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
how as a barbarian do you have all of these things you can do?
It's that multi-class
Ev-
good shit.
Every other barb
Balls.
like attacks twice. Dunzo.
I want to know what horrifying creature they found in the depths of these rule books.
Yes.
18. Not that I really need it. Okay. 18.
All
And
12
then
pages.
okay. Now I smash him.
Smash.
Recklessly.
Recklessly.
You just headbutt him.
Oh my god, that's not very good actually. They're both the same. It's gonna be a 17, which probably misses.
17, you smash down at it, but the barrier around it holds. The force of his willpower and magic that is binding him to this world still resists the first strike from Gallows.
Okay.
Gallows.
This is second.
Cool.
That's going to be a 27.
That is a hit.
I'm just gonna roll all of it instead of having to roll like constantly take them out. Okay. So that's like part 1, part 2. Yeah, let's just do it. Again, double, same number. Wowie. That's gonna be a 25.
25 is going to hit.
And then the final one is another 25.
Also a hit, of course.
Okay. So how am I gonna do this? I might have to do this one by one because that's too much. That's too much.
It's 3 hits.
Okay.
So keep in mind.
Yes, the
that
first one missed. Yeah, I have the thingies up.
Okay,
so
cool.
the first one missed. So yeah. This is the first. 12 plus first is 14. Oh, I'm sorry, 16 because I'm raging. Yes, 16 because I'm raging. Then the second. Oh wait, I totally lied.
What is that?
Oh math. It's 23
Okay.
because I'm raging. Second is a 32. And then third oh, I lied. I'm sorry. The first one was a, what did I say, 23? It was a 22. Third,
Okay.
The second was a 31.
Probably fine.
What did I say what the second one was? Not 31. What did I say before?
No, it's
32.
It's fine.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
fine.
so yeah, 31.
What does your third one do?
The last one, I'm trying to be honest here, is a 27.
All right.
And he has to make 3 wisdom saving throws.
Okay. Doesn't super matter because you say that to him and you bring Gallows down on him, on his skull. Once, pinning him to the glass. Twice, the barrier around him starts to break apart. third, as you bring the blade down, the skull fragments and scatters into a million pieces around the room.
Let's go.
I think I just like
Let's wrap it up, boys.
I just kind of like kick the remains, and I start looking around and saying, "Is that enough?"
Gonna dogpile ya, yeah.
Yeah, you have this moment where you stand up, kind of sling gallows over your shoulder. You look around and you sort of realize that it's kind of over. Things are relatively quiet in the room. This creature, whatever it is not trying to burst up out of the glass any longer. It has been burned, and it did not care for that. There's a pile of dust that used to be the head, and there are your companions staring at you incredulously. Other hunter stands up from the doorway, uncovers their ears, and looks disbelievingly around the room at you, all of you. You have a second to breathe. What do you do?
I mean,
I'd like to clap Max on the shoulder and say, "Looking big there, bud. Looking big."
I know it's like Max, come back down to the group so we can all dogpile hug you, you motherfucker.
Hey there, big guy. How's the weather up there? Jeez Louise.
I'm like, yeah, I think as we're all kind of just like embracing, I probably shrink out of rage. Yeah.
I'd like to throw up a divine sense and just get an idea of if I can tell what's in that tube. It's maybe a
Who's in
celestial, a fiend, an undead, something else stinky.
None of the
Who's-
above.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is this where Ryan Beckinsale teleported to?
Is he in the
Into
tube?
the vat?
Well, if you detect celestial, if Ryan Beckinsale was in there, because he's kind of
It's
an
true.
angel.
God damn it.
That's true.
You're
I
a liar.
swear to God. I swear to God.
Other hunter is going to step forward as you are examining the tube, move across the room sharply to meet you, and is going to say, I think I can kill it. I mean, I helped design this.
I mean, by all means, if you, yes. Do you need anything?
Is it safe for you to do that? Safe for you. Will it hurt you?
I won't be going down there, but I won't be going down there. They point to the furnace looking attachment that is connected to the dome, and they say
Fly.
it's sustained on energy. Elemather.
Cut
If
its power.
if we overload it and send it backdrafting down, it should consume it. And Edmund, like a light bulb going off, is going to sort of say, yeah, that could actually work, and is going to immediately step over to the furnace and start messing with it, other hunter is going to join him, and they both start like putting their heads together and going to work on this thing.
I think Hunter might take this moment, as we've all been like crowding around Max and hugging him, just to reach up and touch Max's cheek and just ask, Max, are you still you?
I think I left the real me back in Ohio.
So that would be a no.
I don't know. I don't know. None of this makes sense.
Well,
I don't belong to myself anymore. I serve a different purpose.
That moment, as you say that,
Oh,
Max,
no.
you I'm going to say everybody. Hear a disembodied voice. Woman's voice that says, don't be dramatic. This was always temporary. I will need that back. And Max, you feel the strength and the power draining out of your body.
Ugh,
Uh,
I don't like
Like a
it.
sieve.
what sucks about that is that you were at 0 hit points.
Yeah.
And as that power fades, as it starts to fade, so too do the temporary hit points you all were benefiting from. So you feel this strength and this vitality that you have all had surging through you start to fade, to drain out of you and leave you pretty much back in the rough shape you were in before Max stood up. However, Max, the voice doesn't stop talking to you even as you start to like fall to your knees with the strength fading from your body. It says,
I imagine it like literally just like from all like ears, mouth, eyes, like just all coming out.
You did well, little bird. Survive. I may have use for you in the future.
I did what I was
Max,
told.
as you fall to your knees, you realize that you still have the axe in your hands.
Oh shit!
And
Sick.
and
okay, sorry. That's exciting.
you say that, and you feel the phantom fingers sort of tip the edge of your chin, sort of to tilt your head up, even though there's nobody standing there, and say, "And you listened so well. Why don't you hold on to that in case you need it next time?" And you all get the impression that whatever presence was or wasn't here is gone. Pretty much the same moment, as the strength is fading from all of you, Wayne, you realize that. What's up?
I was gonna say, does this mean everyone's gonna pass out again except for Kelly and other Hunter?
So, as you start to get dizzy, Wayne, you activated your divine sense, and for the first time in a week, you realize whether it is a byproduct of the fact that you all maybe technically died.
Ooh.
You are not undead any longer.
Heck yeah.
None of you are,
I still am.
except for kind of Kelly, but
Damn it!
but that's normal.
That's
That's fine.
It's
We
the
don't worry
usual
about
levels of the usual levels of dead.
As Wayne drops to his knees, it's like just as his knees hit the ground, it's like like a blast of cold air throws through his hair and like blasts him back as I gain 5 hit points back with my lay on hands on myself. And then
Nice.
before Hunter can hit the floor, and Max, you're gonna die too, right? You're falling asleep.
Yeah.
As they both are falling forward, they fall into my arms as I just pump 5 more hit points into both of them.
Just a little pile right there, just
Yeah.
snuggled up.
And then even
Amazing.
though
Yeah,
we're
I
all
wanna fall like
alive,
trying to hold on to everyone and like trying to hold on to like,
Aw.
yeah.
as that happens,
Trying to
we
keep
all
them up.
just fall into a cuddle puddle of the boys of the group.
Incredible.
Not the
Amazing.
boys. 2 boys and Hunter.
And an agender ranger.
And an agender ranger.
I think Kelly just stands there, like in between Edmund and other Hunter working on this, and the pile just in the middle, and is just like looking back and forth, just like, oh boy, it has been a day.
And yeah, with all of you lying there in this with Max's arms around Hunter and Wayne and Kelly, you sort of standing there and looking on, we start to pull back, and as we begin to exit the Mortispire, the tower, there is a backdraft of energy as the furnace starts to glow and heat up, and Edmund pulls other Hunter back as it gouts elemental fire through vents on its side, and that same elemental fire rushes down the tube connecting it into this pit, and you hear this impossible to describe scream from whatever was down there that you never got a good look at, but it sounds like hundreds of different people all screaming simultaneously as one.
Oh dear, that is
Almost
unsettling and upsetting.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
As it starts to as the scream starts to settle, Mortispire itself begins to shake once again, except this time it's different. This time you don't get the impression that it's because of something underneath it. You get the impression that it is coming down, and you rush back the way you came through the library, back into the bedroom where, true to her word, Harmony, the young girl, is waiting for you. And as you get there, she's standing by the window and she gestures for you to hurry up. You take
Come
her
on.
with you,
Yes.
presumably,
Yeah.
Yes.
and rush out onto the side of Mortispire itself, outside of the sanctuary where you left your exhausted Anaril, infused with just a shard of Kelly Violet's mortal soul. Once again, other Hunter, leaps forward, leaps into action, and starts stoking the engine, the elemental, Jesus, starts stoking the elemental engine that powers this as well. coaxing it back to life. And Kelly, with a word of encouragement from you, the eyes shine brightly again, and you're able to pile in as it begins to scuttle down the side of the tower as quickly as it can, even as there are pieces of debris raining down all around you, even as there are different objects from the tower falling. And looking back over your shoulder, you can see the entire top start to tilt dangerously to one side before it fully falls through the air, crashing down below, directly into the center of the middle district. And as you make your way back down, you expect to see chaos, you expect to see riots in full swing, but as you make land, as your mana rail reaches the middle district and starts using the walkways to get across, you see the wreckage of Mortispire in the middle of a square where it fell on top of several other buildings, crushing them entirely. But surrounding that wreckage, some of them standing on top of it, you see the workers. You see specifically some members of the Misery Shift standing on top of it, arms raised in triumph,
Yes.
crowing. And
Danus there?
oh yeah, he's the one on top. He's the one
Yay!
front and center. He's screaming the loudest. And he and there are likewise undead in the coveralls that also mark them as workers standing there. Some of them sort of beaten and bloody, but they look dumbfounded as some of them looking up at where Mortispire once stood, and some of them looking down at the wreckage where it lays now. But they are not fighting any longer. They lay down, almost as one, they lay down the batons and the weapons that they were carrying and attempting to quell the riots with. And as we fade away from that, we see a few different things over the course of the next couple of days, a few flashes of things happening in Barrow. We see the first mana rail crewed by living workers arrive in Central Slum, and the people extend hands out to the slum residents, inviting them to come up to the city proper, telling them that the doors will be open soon if they want to leave. And we see the interior room once again of Madame Siduri's. And the door flies open as the woman you've normally seen behind the desk, the redheaded woman, bursts in, and she's saying, Madam Siduri, Madam Siduri. And she stands there, not receiving an answer because there isn't one. The webs are still in the ceiling, the pillows are still strewn around, but as she bursts in to try to tell Madame Siduri the good news, the room is empty. There's nobody there.
She's loose. I mean, she told me she wanted to go home, so I'm sure it's fine.
There are we see we see some of the factories being torn down as well. And we see some of the undead workers and the living workers working in tandem to board up storefront windows, repair things as best they can in the wake of the riots, and eventually a gathering at a gatekeep, which is the middle district closest to the gates of Barrow, which have been sealed except for traders allowed to travel out into the world, but never anyone coming in. Not since Barrow first opened its gates after it arrived here in Anoon. And in the gathering of living and undead standing there, looking on, along with all four of you, a familiar figure stands before the gates, well-dressed, very, very handsome, as Marius speaks to the assemblage and says, let this mark a new day for our home here, for Barrow, a better future, where living and death are interchangeable, neither one more or less than the other, but two natural states in the same beautiful cycle. And though we have a myriad differences, let Barrow become a place where we can celebrate those differences, where everyone can be free to work or not work as they choose, as equals. And then he turns and gestures grandly as the giant black iron doors of the necropolis, start to slowly, inch by inch, grind open. And then he turns back and says, let any who wish to be free, to walk the world, go with peace and understanding. And the hopes of myself that you will one day find your way home to us. And as the gates open, the crowds break into fanfare and cheers overwhelmingly. Lots of people rush out into the streaming sunlight, into the fresh air, such as it is in the Neverdawn Valley. And Marius approaches you all. He sort of smirks. He doesn't really stop walking. He smiles at you. He's really only capable of smirking as he passes you. And he says, surprisingly good work. We never could have done it without you.
Yes, well. Couldn't have done it without you ripping a piece of my soul out either.
Tosses his head back and gives a very hearty laugh, like he just said the funniest joke in the world.
Motherfucker.
Fuck this guy.
Says, well, I hope you know that a little piece of you will always be here with us. And immediately gets whisked away by, you know, people congratulating him and wanting to shake his hand and say hello. Edmund like takes a step towards him like he's gonna do something really dumb. You'd stop him, I assume.
Yeah.
And he looks at you disbelievingly in that moment, Kelly, and looks around and says,
Yes.
we're back.
Hunter is truly
and still
innocent.
alive.
Oh my
We're
god!
alive!
What an emotional roller coaster we've been on.
Yeah, seriously.
No kidding. That was wild. The internet just literally disappeared, which was great timing.
You understand me a little bit more now, Will.
Validation from Wrath. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna do some like posting. That's what a miracle. See this. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, we will get back into it.
The chat says it's still an emote only. At least that's for me. Is that anyone else?
Oh, it probably just hasn't done the go live thing yet.
Gotcha.
Like
there it goes. There it goes.
Yeah.
I just did it. It always takes a minute for it to click the for the like, hey, you're live again thing to go through.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. Very cool. Let's do the very we'll just pick right back up at the very dramatic moment where we left off.
Yeah, let's do
like
it.
it's no big
Let's
deal.
do it.
The high emotion.
Because why not? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, we don't need to be combat mode anymore, and it's doing the thing.
It's doing the.
Love that for us. It's
Oh,
cool.
no.
What is happening?
Oh,
Why?
We back.
Oh, man.
We back. Just stay in combat. I'm ready to roll initiative.
I mean,
1v1 me, Max.
I just don't know.
Nope. We're still blue.
Why we're doing this.
Should we
No.
should we try to turn our
Should we
cameras off and
refresh?
turn them on?
Yeah, should we refresh?
No, it's not.
It's not you, it's me.
It's literally, I just don't know. What? Okay.
Oh.
That'll fix it, apparently. I just need to refresh. Cool. Why not? Refresh all the
Amazing.
sources.
Look at us slide him back into the
I know,
story like
that's
that.
amazing.
It's like some
Very
PowerPoint
cute.
transition.
Sliding.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Some Star Wars transitions.
Nothing's ever easy. All right.
Anakin
Sliding
walks
right
off
back into the
screen.
very, very dramatic moment where we left off. Like it's no big deal at all.
No big deal at all.
No big deal at all. Edmund, who has just sort of turned to you, Kelly, and has said, can't believe we did it. I can't believe you did it.
It's a little strange knowing that 5 years worth of an obsession is resolved, but I don't think I have ever been more relieved in my entire life for something to be over.
But he looks a little sad at that and looks over at the gates and says, but it's not over, is it? And looking out past there, you can see all the workers and the living residents of Barrow who ran out through the gates to bask in the sunshine are now just standing there looking kind of unsure of what to do. Sort of looking at each other like, What now? I know you have to go, Kelly Violet. But this doesn't change things enough. Marius will find ways of pulling them back in or pulling in more people, except this time the slavery won't be so blatant. It'll be more subtle. The oppression more clever. But the end result will be the same without someone to stand up. Without someone to stop him from exploiting.
You're right, one fight is over, but there's always going to be another one. And I have other fights that are not here. But we wrote letters before. And at least this time, visiting is going to be possible. So. And at least once, you still have to come see Robin. I told you. She's 6 now.
6. Heaven preserve. He is going to lay one hand against the side of your face and brush the hair back behind your ear, lean his forehead against yours, and he's going to say, "You stay alive out there. And I promise you, as soon as I can, I'm coming to find you."
Oh. You stay alive in here. Or I will come back in here to find you.
And I think on that note, we fade away from Barrow and to the road between the necropolis and Kalefell as you leave the city of the dead behind you. As you step out onto the road, presumably heading back to Robin and the tailor shop, you all of you hear the same somewhat tinny voice speaking to you from your wyvern badges.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit.
And it's gruff. It's a very deep and gruff voice that comes through, and says, "For the love of God, if you are there, answer me."
Kelly
This is
will
Wayne Hovacek, over and out. Check, 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 over and out.
Kelly will just call back, and she'll be like, "Did you know that these cannot penetrate the walls of Barrow?" Because
Finally, have you all survived? You're not in the... so many questions. All right, look.
where all heads are accounted for. Doors are open. Somebody turned Ryan into a vampire. Kalefell's back. We found that a while ago.
Beckinsale, Ryan Beckinsale. If you might know multiple Ryans.
I know who bloody Ryan is. Look, y'all need your full report upon your return to Calderon, and you will need to return to Calderon. There's some unexpected business that pertains to you.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
All right. Over and out.
Check, check, over and out.
With that command from Muldus Calderspur, you make for Stormhold, presumably, so that you can use the henge to get back to Calderon. You make good time, barely stopping with the sense of urgency that Muldus's message instilled in you. Not even enough time to, stop in and have a bite to eat, greet your old friend Rodney, the dire corgi.
Rodney.
Gotta see if Lindsay Ardane ever went home. You just
Shut
stayed in the bar.
You shout a brief message to him as you walk past his tavern, and he just, you hear a trademark from deep inside. You hear trademark. What's all this then? And go through the henge. Go through the henge, and you emerge back into the bustling city center of Calderon, in the midst of the hundreds of people waiting to use the various henges to get to different parts in the kingdom. You make for the city center, the Great Hall, and where you where you last saw Muldus Calderspur, in the council chamber. So just a few short days after leaving the necropolis behind you, feels like almost a lifetime ago, after being in the sun and fresh air and all of that for as long as you've been able to. But the next thing you know, you are walking through the gates into the council chambers, where the very hardy and robust looking Muldus Calderspur is awaiting you. Takes you all he takes you all in, says, "You will look terrible."
Yep. It's been a long couple of days.
You ever ride inside a bug?
You ever shotgun a 4 Loko at 4 a.m. to get?
You ever eat a foot?
We may have in our pursuit of finding Ryan Beckinsale, we may or may not have upended the government of Barrow and opened the doors for people to come and go as they please. Also, Ryan is a vampire now. And he tried to kill us.
And then ran away because he was getting butt cheeks slapped.
Yeah, so he's not dead anymore.
Nice.
He's... So how have things been here? We didn't get any
Quiet.
news.
By and large, things have been pretty normal. I might understand that trade is expected to resume then.
Actually.
I will need to know everything that happened, but at the moment there's a more pressing issue.
Mm-hmm.
Be easier, I think, to show you. And he steps over to the doors of the council chamber, presses one large, meaty hand against the side, and starts to push the doors in. Council chamber is a large table with many chairs seated around it. It's a very well appointed and richly crafted room. Fair amount of finery, as one would expect, and large one wall of large windows overlooking Calderon Square, as we've established previously. And there is a tall figure backlit by those windows, looking out as far as you can tell as you step in. And Moldis strides around the table until he's about halfway between the four of you and the figure, and he raises one hand, points to you all, and says, Wayne, Kelly, Max, Hunter.
Other Hunter?
We'll get to other Hunter. He came to the city with you. He did not come to this meeting with you.
Yeah. This was kind of
he's
clandestine.
Yes. He is recovering at the moment. All of you, like you to meet Meriden Wilt.
Excuse me?
And the figure without turning around says, yes, we've met before. Steps around to the other side of the table. He's a tall, thin man with black hair that has some strands of gray shooting through it. He's dressed well. His appearance much more kempt. He is much better groomed. However, you still recognize the man who tried to kill you at a house party 10 years ago.
Son of a gun. Pervert.
The pervert.
The pervert.
Oh, finger out. Hey, that's a pervert. I remember that guy.
The pervert.
The pervert.
What was this guy's
Moldis.
Meriden
Wilt.
Mirden, sorry.
And Moldis looks very concerned and says, you can't speak to him that way. He's the kingdom's greatest hero. What are you doing?
We will speak to him exactly like that.
Meriden Wilt holds up a hand and says, it's fine, Moldis. After all, I did try to kill them.
You did.
More
You
than
didn't.
once.
Shot at me with a gun.
Came at me in the bathroom, pervert.
I don't recall having a gun, but the rest is, unfortunately, all true. Only,
That you're pervert, you admit it.
I suppose that's subjective. Everybody has the line in the sand.
Interesting.
Horrifying.
No, but suppose I shouldn't be surprised to see you all standing here. It's exactly that kind of stalwart idiocy that got us into this situation. You were all just too stubborn to die and spare us this mess.
Hey, people have actively taken my life, and I'm still here, so don't know what to tell you, but
Too late, I'm afraid. See, Moldus has filled me in on some of the events that have been taking place recently, and I've been able to connect some of the dots myself. You all and your recently deceased friend were laboring under this impression that you had some grand destiny to fulfill here. You were meant to kill the Danans, stop them from taking over as they once did.
I mean, it's kind of news to us.
Could be.
I mean, sure.
That's what Ryan's journals say, but
But he also said save the Danon, and then that one gets scratched out, and then the other one says, kill the Danon, and that one gets scratched out. So something's going on with the Danon for sure.
Yes, I'm afraid it was my misfortune to have spent 2,000 years living in your world, safeguarding them from awakening. And you all did exactly the only thing that I swore I would never let happen.
That sounds
You
like a
weren't-
you problem.
you didn't talk to us, dude. You sound real irritated with us, but I'm just going to stand here and point out you never spoke to us to say, hey, don't fuck around with this shit. So I don't know what you're mad about right now. It sounds like you're mad at your own lack of communication.
Open and honest communication can change the world.
Like,
I am somewhat perturbed, I'll admit, but the past is the past and it's too late for that now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you all did exactly the one thing I was meant to stop you from doing. You didn't come here to kill them. By coming here, you unlocked the way for them.
I'm gonna point
Right.
this out once again. That wouldn't have happened if we didn't have to go to community service because you didn't try to kill us at a party instead of just fucking talking to us. So I don't know what you want us to say besides the fact that sucks to suck, but this sounds like your fault.
I will be clear. I will lay it all out, cards on the table.
A little late for that, it sounds like.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, Max like bursts out laughing at that.
If I had come to you and told you that the only way to save my world, stop this from happening, was for the four of you to die,
Okay.
how would that conversation have gone?
Poorly, I'd imagine. I
Poorly,
hear
but
what
like
you're-
again,
what you're saying now.
this happened because we fell through the portal in the back of the fucking cave, which I never had any intention of going into until I was sent there by community service. I still don't know what you want me to say, dude. Like, again.
See, it would not have sufficed to simply tell you to stay away, to not come to a noon, because four of you, the five of you, really, are the product of a spell 2,000 years in the making. Atop the cauldron when I wielded the full power of the Bright, when I took it from the Danan under the noses while the war raged around us, I offered them a deal. They could face me, empowered as I was by their home and the endless font of arcane energy it poured into our world. Or I could send them somewhere else. I could follow them. And maybe there, the more even playing field, they'd be able to get the revenge they so badly wanted. They took the second option. That was your world. And I followed, true to my word, to safeguard them and ensure that they never found a way back through. Your world, however, has far less magic in it. Not none. There is a trickle. But the Danan quickly discovered that without access to their home, without a ready supply, they were dying. They could not sustain themselves. And after 100 or so odd years of being considered gods, worshipped, revered, they put a plan into action. They went to sleep. And the spell that they cast, inch by inch, incrementally, led to the 5 of you. Every single step, every single one of your ancestors, every maid, was the product of this magical working, leading them incrementally closer to one another. A new job here, a chance to start over in a new world there, immigration, moving, opportunity, industry, everything. All of that culminated in the 5 of you being born for the express purpose that you would step across the barrier into a noon and awaken them and clear the way for them to come back. Because the working of this spell, my spell, trapping them in your world, was very specific. Thought myself quite clever at the time. Until they crossed back into a noon, they would not be able to cross back into a noon. But they found a loophole. Just a few drops of blood would suffice. Descendants. So when you crossed through the henges, you woke them up. And they followed after you, like you were bloody lighthouses.
Again. You seem very insistent about the fact that killing us was the only option. And I still doubt that, given isn't the whole point that you gave them a choice, but then you weren't going to give us a choice. And so really, this is karma for that.
I am not proud of that choice. But at the time, it seemed the only option.
Well, here we are. The consequences of your actions. So, we just put the head of Barrow in the ground. So I hope you don't expect us to roll over and let you slit our throats, if that's where this conversation is going.
No. It's far too late. Killing you now would accomplish nothing. They're already here. Now, there's only one pertinent question. He lays his hands on the table and leans across, looking at all of you with these very intense, stormy gray eyes. Says, "What exactly are you willing to do to stop them?" And on that note, we are going to end for tonight and pick back up in a few months.
God
How we
dang it.
feeling?
Yeah.
I have stuff I want to say.
So
Guess we'll wait.
that is that. We are going to be back. Yes, we are going on a holiday hiatus for a little bit of time. We will be back. I believe we're looking at the 20th, December 20th. Last time I checked. By then, things should be all right. That is a long time, but rest easy, because during the interim period, those empty Tuesdays, we are going to fill them with a class reunion side story. So in 2 Tuesdays from now, if you want to hop back over here, you will be getting more class reunion content, except this time will be set in Avalon, Ohio, on Earth, where our 4 heroes came from. Come back for that. We are going to be joined by another guest for that, since we are going to be, unfortunately, without Corey for that game. I'm so sorry. We're going to miss you. I know. Much like the workers of the necropolis of Barrow, Corey is unfortunately at the mercy of capitalism, as are we all.
Yes.
As are we all.
As are we all.
Damn.
Man.
But the important things to keep in mind: there will be more class reunion. Class reunion winter break starts in 2 Tuesdays. Come back for that. Check it out. It'll be JD, Raph, Julia back here, and then we will be joined by Andrew, one of the other GMs and organizers from Life in the Apocalypse. You've seen him on Veil Breakers. You've seen him on other things. Pulp Diction. Does not get a lot of opportunities to play on the channel, so this should be a lot of fun.
Fury Brick Road.
He was in Fury Brick Road. That was the other one. Does not get a lot of opportunities, though, so I think this will be cool. Come back and check that out. I've always wanted to do modern 5e. This will be a lot of fun. And then, while it's true that Corey will not be able to join us, unfortunately, for class reunion, you might be able to catch a couple episodes of a certain superhero podcast featuring Corey in the fairly near future, as schedules allow.
So fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Stepping
I hope
into-
you're excited. I'm very excited.
Stepping into the
So
podcast world. I'm
excited.
extremely excited. I can't wait to start talking about ideas. Wow. Okay. So that's that. That was a lot. Tonight was a lot. We did a
Good
lot.
God.
It's late, and we should go ahead and call it here. Do the things. If you're not following already, feel free to do that. Twitter, social media, all of that good stuff. Follow the channel. Follow us everywhere. Where's the thing? The socials. There they are.
Do the thing.
We also, the bot's dead.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
that tracks.
One last victim, one last casualty
One
to
last
today.
victim.
Just everyone quick, grab a link. I got Twitter.
I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's Live from the Apoc on Twitter, Live from the Apocalypse on everything else.
It's at Live from the Apoc.
Because
is-
remember,
Find it.
Twitter's the one that
On
nerfs
the
us.
talk.
It's true. Only 15 characters. I think I just fixed it. Let's see. Yep, I did. Hell yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Amazing.
I'm not
So,
fast enough.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. All of that being said, if you joined us for the first time tonight, if you've seen us many, many times, if you followed, if you donated, if you chatted, any of that good stuff, especially if you donated $100 fucking dollars, thank you so much.
one.
That's
God.
wild.
Yeah.
Still hard to believe. We appreciate you so much. You're the only reason we can continue to do this, and that means the world to us. We have a lot of fun doing this. There are the socials. Join the Discord if you're so inclined. We would love to have you. And on that note, we are going to disappear for a few minutes, probably not even that long, and then we're going to hop over to, speaking of our superhero game, let's hop over to say hi to our friend Amber, who just guest starred on Academy H. You can catch the first episode of that, and then there will be another one this Sunday, and so on and so forth. The next 3, I think, after this one, all feature Amber as our guest star. So hop over there, say hi, be friendly, tell them we sent you. There are 2 raid messages in the chat. One, first one you can copy paste if you are subscribed. Second one you can copy paste if you're not subscribed. And yeah, join us as we go say hi to some very good friends of ours. We are gonna call it a night here, friends. Thanks again so much
See
for
you next
joining
year.
us.
Hey,
See you
everybody.
next year.
Yeah.
See you next
Uh,
year.
Good night, everybody. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Good night, everybody.